We're live, you gotta dance with me. He's like, no, I don't do that. Okay, guys, I'm really excited because we have Jeff Schine with us today. Incredibly talented face actor and voice actor. I'm kidding. At cons, they ask me, do you also do face acting? I'm like, yeah, it's just acting.
Jeff don't really call it face acting, but I like that.
Well, that's the question they ask me when they want to differentiate it from voice acting. I'm like, it's just acting. Jeff does on-camera, guys, and a bunch of amazing voices, particularly on The Avengers. He plays Captain America, Javier Garcia in The Walking Dead, and Carlos Oliveira in Resident Evil 3. Welcome, dude.
Thank you. It's so good to be here. It's nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, this is fun. I love that you have your VO booth behind you. How professional of you.
You know, it's funny because I try to figure out either it's got to be a super plain background or something that looks moderately professional because we're sort of, my wife and I are sort of in between places right now because we're not physically in Los Angeles. So this isn't like my home. And if I don't try to like it, I mean, you can tell there's just like crap everywhere. It's a nightmare.
I can't tell this crap everywhere. B, you're in between places, but you have a freaking professional booth? That's incredible.
Well, you know, I mean, you know, like you have to have a place to record, like, and you know, so back in Los Angeles, in our home, I had like gutted and soundproofed a closet to be able to record, and I was lucky enough to get that done right before COVID happened, which just ended up being like really serendipitous. But then when we knew we were going to have to move to Atlanta for a bit, I knew we were going to be in an apartment complex before we had a house. Yeah. And you know, like sound is just, you know, you get bleed from your neighbors and walls, and so it's tough. So I had to do something more.
Try to record from your closet when they are retrofitting your building.
Yeah. No, I've been there. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Because you never realize how loud something. There's two things in your life that will key you into sound. One is if you're trying to record something, and two, when you have a baby sleeping. So either one of those things will let you know, like, you will hear everything.
Yeah. So I just want you to know the very important comments that I'm seeing on Twitch right now is Jeff is hot, ... And then another one saying exactly what I thought, ... So great. You know, at least the important things in life are coming up.
There you go. My work has been determined.
Yes. Okay. So what is it that you're doing in Atlanta? Is it you got work there?
I'm doing some work here, but mostly I'm back and forth to Los Angeles for mine. A lot of my stuff is still in LA, but I'm here currently. My wife is working on a show here, so
cool.
We moved when she was pregnant, so it wasn't one of those situations where we could be apart for a little while.
Yeah. So is it NDA? What's your wife working on?
No, she works on Dynasty.
Oh, cool. How amazing. Yeah. So are you like baby daddy right now because she's on set all the time?
I'm doing well. It's, you know, thankfully, I mean, her production has been really amazing and been super kind with her time and stuff to like still navigate, you know, being a new mom. So her schedule isn't like as crazy.
Wait, did I lose you? I lost you. Is it my headphones? Okay, say that again. Hello?
Yeah, it's doing it again.
Oh, no, but we're good. You're back.
So they've been really good about our schedule, and we've been splitting duties. But there are definitely days where I'm like 14 hours just in full-on dad mode.
Imagine that. So many moms are just in full-on mom mode all the time. Wow.
I mean, and it's a lot, but I have to say, you know, I'm actually really grateful for the opportunity because I think about how my schedule is at the moment, and I actually have some time to like really be here and spend. The relationship with my daughter, my wife, is very organic. You know what I mean? She lives for 9 months, and there's like that immediate, and she's breastfeeding. There's that immediate connection. Yeah. But as a dad, you really have to like, you know, work on it a little bit more. Like
you got to work at the breastfeeding. It's hard.
It's more challenging than I thought it was going to be.
Got any tricks? Because you know, at some point. I'm sorry. Continue. You were getting very beautiful, and I shat all over that moment.
No, not at all. But it's given me a real opportunity to just really dive in and this amazing little bond with her and of
course. What's her name?
Her name is Anara.
Anara. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Where did that come from?
We were like really. My wife and I spent like literally the full 9 months trying to find a name, and had lists and couldn't agree on anything. We finally got it down to a 3. I found Anara. I can't remember where, on some like website or something. As you Google it, like. But I'd never met an Anara. I'd never heard it before. Our top 3 was Anara, Maya, and Isabella. And we waited until she was born, and we were holding her to figure out which one it was. And
it just spoke to you. You were like, "Yep, she's Anara."
It was good to have that moment because we had none of those moments before. It was not like we had divine inspiration. It wasn't that at all.
That's crazy cool how you're like, I gotta meet her first to see what she feels like. That's kind of cool.
Because we didn't know, like, we knew we wanted something strong, and it was, but it was cool. It was really, really cool.
Yeah. My friend who just had a baby said, I always knew that I would love him like more than anything in the world. I knew that. What I didn't know was that he would love me back the way he does, because he looks at her and he just lights up, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. That's really cute.
It's really cool, and I like to say this, and people may take it one way or the other, but I think it's important for me to express. I didn't come from my life wasn't always in my mind on the trajectory of having a child, and even when my wife and I met, we were both pretty serious about not having a kid. I couldn't see as I was building my career how it was going to fit, and even though during my life, people have been like, "You'd be a great dad," I was always never. I don't want it. I'm not interested in it. I don't. Yeah. And I say that because I feel like that part of the conversation doesn't happen enough, and people are made to feel strange about their wants and desires. But now that it's happened to me, like it's everyone is still to each their own. But for me, it ended up being the best thing ever. It was like exactly what I needed to like shift my perspective a little bit. So I'm in love.
Oh God, I love it. I love it. And it is interesting because as actors, we put so much work into all of our auditions, every single role, every single thing we do, and it's almost like we become blinded by that one audition, and then we didn't book it, and so it feels crappy, and so we work on the next, and then all of a sudden, when you have something that's like taking your attention, that's more important, like a little tiny person's life, you're like, okay, so I didn't book that audition. Moving on, I gotta birth this kid.
Well, I mean, that especially, as actors, so much of your life is self-centric. And I don't mean that in a disparaging way. It requires that of you. I mean, your family misses you for stuff that you have to, you can't be at certain events, you can't go certain places, and you become like these golden handcuffs to the next audition or the next job. And it's a very difficult work-life balance. And in the beginning, I would say there almost isn't a balance. Yeah. But one of the things I became...
Should you go for unbeatable cleaning power or unbeatable gas mileage? Tough one. But why not both? Unbeatable cleaning and unbeatable mileage. Chevron with Techron. Care for your car. It's a popular choice.
Oh, look, David. My delivery's here. You got your birdseed bread, your birdseed butter, and an 87-pound bag of birdseed.
Enjoy. Whoa.
And that's just lunch.
Get more from your neighborhood. DoorDash.
Just even as
It's not just a game. When every move feels like a power play. It's opened my eyes to a whole new world. It's where I find myself. And get lost in the game.
only 5 months old, so this stuff is like, she's not like not in her purview yet, but it was important to me, and I think my wife both, to make sure that even while she's here, that we both continue to live like individual lives and continue to push forward in our own creativity and our own careers, because I want her to see it's like this. You want to teach your kids things, you try to like lay out what the lessons are going to be, and then you realize you don't really try to formulate a lesson plan. If you want them to be honest, you be honest. If you want them to be hardworking, you work hard, and like, because they they observe what's happening. So it's important for me. Like, we do a good job balancing. I still make sure every day to get some stuff in for myself before and that way I can be the best, husband that I can be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of improvement.
Jeff, I thought we were just going to be talking Resident Evil, and we got deep. We got deep here. The other interesting part of that too is that then you're also reminded, I'm not just a dad. I'm not just a mom. There is more to me, because I know so many of my mom friends, the first year they feel like, if I don't start doing something for myself, I'm going to lose it, because right now I'm just in mom mode. So it's that balance of not just focusing on yourself, but then also going back to focusing on yourself when you need to,
It's super important. I think even we'll put it in a different context. We'll put it in the context of even before you have children, which is like finding some of that for yourself stuff also outside of your career. And I started to get better results, I guess, if you could count it that way, when I stopped putting so much into just the work, and I started doing things that ended up, and you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, you take some random class, you maybe take a boxing class, or you take a firearms class, or a dance class, and sure enough, you don't realize a year from now, there's some job where they're like, hey, just by chance, do you know how to dance? And you're like, yeah. I know exactly how to do that. But you know how to box? You're like, yeah, I got some experience. So it's like, I think you're a better actor and a better human, more stuff you experience.
Absolutely. And then we're just focusing on living a good life and being the best person we can be, and then it all just falls into place. That's great. And one of our followers, who's a VIP, Booty Farts 22, he says being in the military is like that too. I think that you're working so hard and focusing so much on, he's in the military right now, that's what it is, and then you just forget that there's like a lot of other stuff happening in life, which is so important.
I completely agree.
So tell me a little bit about what you do some really iconic video game characters, which is incredible. You also do film and TV. What was the beginning of Jeff, discovering, this is what I really want to do, and then you taking that step to starting to achieve it, because it's a long road.
Yeah, it's cool looking at it now at where I'm at. I mean, so I guess I never really. I guess I didn't really entertain the idea of being an actor for quite some time. I didn't grow up not that I wasn't encouraged to explore whatever I wanted, and my parents were very supportive, but it just didn't.
Pause. See, Tamstree is having issues. She doesn't understand how such a good-looking guy could not have assumed he was going to be an actor. Also, the fact that you're a dad, she said, is just so much hotter. Tamstree, I think you're a she, but if you're a he, also rad, or a they.
Thank you either way. I agree with that. No, I mean, I genuinely felt like I came into my own much later in life. I mean, I wasn't particularly athletic when I was younger. I didn't find athleticism until really college. It just, and my career, I feel like has sort of paralleled that, where I've had, and look, everyone's story is unique. Even though it seems like we all have a similar story, it's so different. But mine has been a very slow grind, where each little job led to the next job, and small steps. But I mean, just at the beginning, it just didn't dawn on me that you could do this for a living. I used to watch TV and film, and I was passionately obsessed with it, but they always seemed like other people, like someone else did that. I don't know who or where they came from, but they might as well have been from an alien planet. But that wasn't what I do. I remember writing down stuff for those little things you fill out when you're 5 years old, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was writing stuff that I think about now. I'm architect, physical therapist. Did I ever really want to do that? And it didn't dawn on me until about midway through high school that was a thing that I could do. And it made sense on all the other things I was so passionate about that it would line up that way.
So did you do some high school theater or some community theater?
I did a lot of plays in middle school and elementary school, and then when I got to high school, I got really I don't know, it didn't feel like it was for me, my high school theater. And by the time I got to senior year, I started finding community theater outside of my high school. But at the time, I had a tremendous, I was debilitating stage fright. And I would say, secretly still to this day, the idea of being on stage, it's funny, because in front of the camera, I'm fine. But the idea of being on stage is there's a little agita when I think about that.
Because you have a live audience, it's a totally different, that happens.
The most exhilarating and terrifying. It is genuinely being on I mean, you step out on stage and it's like being on a roller coaster you have no control over, because it can go really well or so. I will tell you, the first time I went on stage was this community theater play. It's the first time that I was aware of being on stage outside of like middle school, where you don't have as much self-awareness.
Yeah.
The first time I was taking acting seriously, I had done work, and I went up in the middle of a scene and skipped a page and a half.
Oh, balls.
Nobody knew, but I mean, my scene partner, he gave me these looks like midway through, like, did you just skip a page and a half of dialogue?
But then you jump to that next line, because what the hell are you going to do?
You just go. That's the thing. You just go and figure out a way to make it work. But
that's kind of the magic of it too. Think on your feet. We got to fix this moment. What do we do?
It's totally the magic of it.
Yeah. My second play I did, I was in 4th grade. The first one I did, I was 5 years old in school, and I loved it. And the second one was Mary Poppins, and I played the little girl Jane. And after the chimney sweep scene, Mary Poppins is standing there saying something, and the chimney sweep guy, Bert, he had his little chimney sweep, and it was this weird wiring, and it got stuck in her boot, and they realized it. And I knew that I had a whole scene where I'm just standing there looking. So like little 9-year-old me, I crouch down and I start pulling the chimney sweep thing out from under her, like the boot, because it had, where the laces lace up, and I'm just doing it, and I took freaking 5 minutes because it was like stuck in there, and then I did it, and I stood back up, and then at the end of that play, they were like, you saved us, because like she would have had that thing stuck to her shoe the whole rest of the play because we couldn't get it out. So I was like, okay, like little tiny me understood that there are moments when you just have to like fix some shit.
And it's funny, right? Those like super organic moments are usually where like some of the best stuff, like it's like the mistakes lead to sometimes the most beautiful, scene or piece or art. I mean, so I totally get that, and good for you for being so aware at that young of an age.
Dude, well, I don't know. I think I saw it and I'm like, well, this needs helping. I got to do something.
Like inside of that is like a self-confidence and a freedom to be able to like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't always have that as a kid. I did not always have that as a kid.
Oh, well, we're finding it. And of course, there's been other moments as an adult where I totally blank on stage and I'm like, shit, what's my line? So it's not like, little 9-year-old me's just carried me through. I want you to know that Tam Street is now trolling because she goes, he would make a great physical therapist. They're loving all of this. What can I say? It's all great. Okay, so where were you born and raised?
Oh yeah, I was born in Connecticut. In a Bridgeport hospital, but I grew up in a small town called Oxford. We moved to Southbury, which is a neighboring town, and just because it had access to a high school. Okay.
And then you moved, when you were done high school, where did you move to pursue this dream of yours?
So right after high school, I took a year off. And no, I'm sorry, that's not true. From high school right to college at Hofstra University. Graduated Hofstra in 3.5 years, came back, took a year off, just bartended, and then moved straight out to Los Angeles.
Bartended, yep.
16 years.
Oh, wow, okay. And so you moved out to, you bust your ass, you bartend. We all waited tables, it's the thing, you gotta do it, right? And then you come out to LA, and like, what's the first big thing that you booked that you're like, because it takes a while, you kind of do the one-liners and you don't book them, and then you maybe do, and da-da-da-da, or then you get cut from whatever you shot. Like, what was the first thing that you were like, okay, this is a good deal?
I think so in college I was doing a lot of small films with this one group, and that was where I got like most of my on-camera experience before I made it to Los Angeles. I think the first thing I booked in LA was a GMC commercial, and it was, and I think it was supposed to be a Super Bowl spot, and it was one of those ones where they're like, oh, it's gonna be a Super Bowl spot, and you think it's gonna like run forever, and then it like ran like twice.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, and commercials now, how long have you been in Los Angeles?
Just 3 years.
Senior Chief Kelly, it appears you have a common enemy with the United States.
They took everything from me. My family.
I'm even out to plan. He is more dangerous and effective than any man we have in the field. You want to know your greatest strength? You're willing to do anything to get the job done.
Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. Rated R. Watch now. Only on Prime Video.
York for 10.
So the same thing then. So but like commercials are different because it used to be you booked a national network, that might be all you need for the year. You make shirts,
yeah.
Not like that anymore. It's just really not like that anymore. So
I know.
I was pretty stoked when I booked GMC. I think the first legit job I booked was actually a video game, and I believe it was a jump from I was hosting this show. Which was tagged on to Call of Duty Black Ops, and it was on disc, but it was called Roll Call.
Okay.
Basically, I was like interviewing some of the developers, and we went to like E3 and like all this kind of stuff. And then from that audition, I ended up being the reader for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And after a week long of reading with all the other actors, and like just being the reader, the director and producer were like, "Hey, why don't you audition?" And then I auditioned and booked a job. That role, I was like, I loved the name of the character. I was like, and games take like years to make.
Yeah.
Before we got actually rolling was about a 6-month wait period, and over the course of that 6 months, that character got cut.
Oh.
But they were kind enough to be like, hey, but we're going to give you some other stuff so you can still. But this is how it goes. I mean, you just
Yeah.
So you got to be on the ride.
And you have a pretty impressive video game resume. Like you've worked on a ton of them.
Yeah, at this point, I've been on a few.
Yeah. I'm looking at your IMDb as we speak. Guys, go to his IMDb right now. I tell people to go to your Insta and your IMDb, so it's all good. Like, guys, Disintegration, Marvel Avengers, Mafia, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy, they're all huge names. Kingdom Hearts, Judgment, like Just Cause 4, I'm in that too. Fallout 76, Red Dead 2, I'm in that too. Everyone's in Red Dead 2. They employed like 2,000 actors. And that's not even half of the ones that I just read out. Like, holy cow, dude.
Yeah.
So, when did voice acting start becoming a part of your life? Because we aren't told that this is a part of our career, really. We don't really understand that we can maybe just be voice actors if we wanted to.
I would actually jump on that and say not only are we not told that it's an avenue, but we're told if you consider it as an avenue that you should consider abandoning all your other work because I was told in the beginning by some people you can't do both at the same time. And I remember thinking which was probably out of character for me at the time, considering where I was at, my confidence level. But I was like, that doesn't sound right. Like, why not? Why can't I do both? So I happen to have I have a long history of video games. I've been a huge nerd and gamer since I was very, very young.
Nice.
Oh, I love games. I mean, games are like a passion.
Wait, Tamster's gonna fucking faint now. I don't know what's gonna happen. They're gamers. The people who follow me are gamers, and they want us to be gamers, and I let them down because I'm not a gamer. So you are on their beautiful list.
So we can nerd out on games all day long. I mean, I grew up really, really sweating playing games. I mean, I will tell you, I'll out myself a little bit. There was a short period of time at the end of college during that year of bartending when I was actually sort of playing semi-professionally. We would go
front door, dude.
Yeah, we would go to tournaments and stuff. We competed at an E3 once. I mean, I love. Look, games changed a lot for me. They were like an escape, and now I really think, and I'm grateful to be able to participate in it. But the storytelling in games is a 100% legitimate form of storytelling. It's way beyond just as it mechanically fun to play, but you can really just look at some of these games like The Last of Us.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal stories. So
absolutely.
So I had a friend who is still a very successful voice actor. He does a lot of promo, narration. Shout out to my buddy Motion. And
his name is Motion?
His name is Motion Melvin.
Love it. Great.
He's a phenomenal voice actor. You've all heard him 1,000 times. You just don't know it.
Awesome.
He's like Shark Week stuff, and he does a lot of stuff with Nat Geo. He's awesome. He's a good dude. He actually, I knew he was doing VO, and I was like, I want to give this a shot. But I was very self-conscious that maybe my voice wasn't. I had this thing. I was hung up on my voice needs to be deep. If I don't have a deep voice, you can't work because you grow up with a traditional
in a world.
Yeah. So you think that's the only thing that works.
Yeah.
And then mine and Motion's path kind of dovetailed a little bit because he's a lot of promo commercial, and I started moving into games. But he gifted me my first microphone, which I still use to this day.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I think none of us really get to where we are without a tremendous amount of help somewhere along the way in many forms. And, so that's really where voice acting started for me. And then I started studying I've had some great mentors. I've taken classes from Charlie Adler and Bob Bergen and these guys are just giants. And that's one of the things I loved about VO, which is, as an actor, you can feel very isolated. And it's unique because, like, Tom Cruise and I are never going to read for the same role. That's just not the universe we live in. You know what I mean? And he's also never going to... You know what I mean? But he's also going to scene with me and be like, hey, let me give you some notes. But what was cool about VO in the beginning for me was I seemed to have access to these people that I felt like I had no business having access to. Like, how is the guy who's done every Transformer voice I know, or the guy who's been Porky Pig for the last 15 years, how are they, like, meeting me for coffee and giving me some notes and no ego, totally generous, and I find that sort of across the board in the industry, and I really think it's very good to me.
Yeah, for sure. Holy cow, I agree. I think that I didn't move from New York to LA for many reasons before. I had a partner in the city. The city made sense for me. I thought I was an HBO New York actress, not a CW LA actress. And, and I was intimidated by LA because I saw this Hollywood thing where it's just beautiful people doing beautiful TV. And I was like, there's no place for me there. And then I come out here to be completely like embraced by the voiceover community. And they're just a bunch of nerds that are really talented and willing to help, So it's such a good group of people. Like Nashir Dalal. Guys, we were supposed to have Nashir on today, and I've been supposed to having him on like 5 times, but he couldn't because he booked something, because he's a booking machine. But he recommended Jeff, and that's why you're here, and that's why I'm so excited. Like, you know what I mean? He cared to like send somebody else because he couldn't.
There was a lot of that, like, sort of helping hand vibe in the community, and I never feel like you're elbowing for room. I mean, I think sort of we're acutely aware of, like, look, yes, it's hard to get work, and finding jobs is difficult. And if you book a job, I mean, you have to know that every time you get an audition and then book, you've won the lottery twice. But at the same respect, I think we're also aware that, like, there's a lot of work, and you don't have to be, protective over your little domain. I sort of feel like we're all just like, come in. I mean, I have no problem and get asked a lot for like coaching and stuff, and I'm always, look, if you love what you do, I think you try to find any way you can to do it. So, talking about it or recording or coaching, I mean, I don't work ever. I just get to do what I would do for free, and that pays me sometimes for it. So it's...
Sorry, I'm laughing some more. Tamstri says, thanks, Nashir. Ha, 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 ha. We're very grateful.
Nashir is a dear friend of mine.
He is. So let's talk about the big titles you've got for video games. And I do want to hear more about your on-camera fun stuff as well. But what was the... in chronological order, which one came first? I know Walking Dead. Are you part Hispanic? You play some Latino characters.
No, I'm not.
Okay, I'm just curious.
My wife has the market cornered on that part of our relationship.
Got it. She's Hispanic?
She's Puerto Rican, Peruvian, Native American.
Amazing. How cool.
Amazing things.
Super. I will put a pin in that and maybe ask you to interview her later if she has time away from Dynasty. But so which was the one that came first that you're like, holy cow, I'm Captain America, or whatever?
Yeah, the first one was The Walking Dead. And interestingly, with all of the titles that I have that are sort of some of the larger like franchise stuff, like I was very fortunate because I didn't know what they were. As far as like, and everything's code named. You're under, and at some point when you've been doing it long enough, you kind of stop asking. It's like whatever.
Yep. You don't care. Yeah, you just
kind of stop caring, and it's actually good because you realize not only do you not care, but it also doesn't matter because the scene is the scene, the character is the character. Sometimes, yes, you want to know the universe so you can play in the right world, but. Anyway, so I go in for what I don't know at the time is The Walking Dead, and I'm reading with a number of different actors, which I guess, I really must have been out to lunch that day, because I think we were actually having a session. I thought it was like an audition, but I think we were recording an episode because I was recording with Melissa Hutchinson, who plays, why am I blanking right now? Clem, in the whole franchise.
Yeah.
And that was, I think we were 4 or 5 sessions in when I realized, like, oh, this is The Walking Dead, and people really like this franchise.
Mobile clothing consumption has doubled in the last 15 years. We can change that.
When we make better, we can buy better. And when we buy better, we can wear longer.
We wear longer, we can buy less.
When we buy less, we can waste less.
And when we waste less, we can change for good.
This is kind of like a big deal.
Yeah.
And then they were like, and I was like, but it's okay because this is Clem's story. And they were like, no, this season we're kind of following you. And I was like, oh, cool. So I have to hope everybody likes me after we kind of like dovetailed Clem's story a little bit.
Yeah. What does he sound like in the game? I'm sorry, I don't play. People are commenting like, oh my god, his voice is so recognizable, but I don't play these games, so.
For Javi, I mean, I was a little bit younger, but it was basically just lived here. It was kind of just my regular voice. For me, it's funny, the way I approach a lot of stuff, especially some of like the more grounded character-y stuff, or the more grounded characters, a voice choice is the last thing I think about. And more often than not, I'm really focusing on attitude, and not so concerned with like, I just think that's a distinction people mistake sometimes. Like, you're a voice actor, that means you can do 100 voices. And you're like, maybe. I mean, I can do a number of voices, probably not as many as some people and more than some, but that's not...
It's about the essence of the character.
Yeah, that's not like your job, really. If you have that ability, I mean, there are some people who are, magicians and can make sounds that I can't even fathom how they do that. But for me, since, the focus is just the character first. And if a voice is appropriate, then we'll find that organic.
Find it, for sure.
So Javi was the first one, and that was the first role that, like, I think people noticed that I was in. I think before that, nobody really cared what I was doing. It's still weird to think that anyone cares what the hell I'm doing or saying at any point in time.
Wait, one of the comments, Metallical says, this guy is way too humble and nice. Alien confirmed. I love it.
I think would say the same thing, probably. Not that I'm humble.
Oh, no, okay, I was going to say that you're an alien. Hey, so, I was going to make a dirty joke, and I am not going there. Okay, so, we have Walking Dead. Have you done conventions with any of these?
We did, I did PAX. So I've done PAX for The Walking Dead. We did, which was a hallmark moment in my life. We got to do Avengers at Hall H.
Wow.
Unfortunately, though, and I have to say, look, everything happens for a reason, or so they say, but, Avengers was happening right around the time COVID was beginning. And there were plans to do a tremendous amount of press for it, and I was just like so excited. I mean, Comic-Con, Hall H, getting to do it with, for me it was sort of early in the convention scene, but I was going to be doing it with seasoned pros, Nolan, Travis, Troy, Laura. Like, these are people who
never heard of them.
They've done more conventions than I've even been to, and I was really excited, and then everything got... So right now, I've been doing as best as I can.
Streamily, I saw you have Streamily on your Insta.
Yeah, I'm trying to get more comfortable in spaces like that. But for me, it's really important, to be able to connect, to people who enjoy the work that we do, and I know with you've done tons of cons. You must have with Overwatch.
Yeah. In the last 3 years, yes, like way more than I ever imagined in my life. But before that, I had no idea. Sorry?
Because that's a juggernaut.
It's insane. Yeah. It's like I still don't comprehend anything. Yeah.
It's cool, right? Like, if you really take a second, I know we all get wrapped up in it, and it starts to move very fast, and I do the best I can sometimes to take a step back and go like, this is fucking bananas.
Dude. Yes, the year of Sombra, my character came out. I haven't talked about this too much, but I went through a breakup after I'd been with somebody for 10 years. So it was like the biggest dichotomy of like me traveling the world, literally. Like I was going to the Philippines and Kuwait and Argentina, like Europe. But then also like my heart was just shattered. So I was like grateful, but like struggling through all this stuff. So cons actually are very special to me because they helped me get through like some of the hardest times of my life. Like I would get up and out of bed for the fans because it was a job. And then it was like they brought me joy, and I was grateful for that. And of course, I had my friends and family that brought me joy. But like when you're doing something and just getting out of your headspace and focusing on the moment, I'm living this moment with this fan right now. I'm not thinking about my broken heart. It was incredible, you know.
I think like when you say that, it makes total sense to me because if you think about like you had lost a very significant connection.
Yeah.
Then you know some of that space got to be filled with a lot of connection with like people that you would never have. Yeah. So there was a lot of and I think like you were saying, being really present in those moments. There's a real it's tough for me because I'm a talker and genuinely interested in people's story, and so the only thing that's tough about like cons sometimes with the very few that I've gotten a chance to do, they're so fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you feel bad. I have a tough time, moving on.
I know.
Because you want to be able to sit there and chat because if you take the second, everybody's so fucking interesting.
Yeah. Oh my God. I feel you. You know what's crazy is Anjali Bhimani is a good friend. She does a bunch of voices on video games as well, and she's on Overwatch with me, and she helps me with a lot of self-tapes. And like a year and a half into cons, she was like, Caro, your self-tapes are getting really good. And I was like, really? She's like, it's like you're listening so well, and then you're reacting. And I was like, dude, it's because at cons I have to listen to fans. If they say, oh, my dad died and now I play Overwatch and remember him, I can't go, thanks for coming, here's your autograph. I gotta go, I'm so sorry. Like I have to be there in that energetic moment with the guys. So we become very present, and it helps our acting. It's bizarre.
Yeah, it's I started doing I do cameos sometimes, and I think it's important. It's important to never take for granted. Some people will say stuff like that. Like my first memory, I remember this one girl. She's like, one of the first memories I have is playing Resident Evil with my father, and he passed away, and now playing this game brought me back to those. And it's like, if you allow that to really hit you, like really take it for a second, like not only is it a beautiful story, but it's a tremendous act of vulnerability for someone to share that with a stranger. I mean, they don't know me at all. And in that moment, I know that there's the hope, I think, because I remember feeling this, it's like, I hope this guy doesn't turn out to, be a jerk and doesn't take my story for granted. So I don't know. I'm aware that people allow, our responsibility is to the work we do first and foremost. I think you can only in so much as I think you can get lost if you do your work in service of an audience. I think your work, but the secondary portion of that is like people let you into their homes, and they share their personal things with you. And for me, it's like what a fucking amazing place to be in. We're like we're in a place where technology supports us now. We can connect even when we're locked in a closet. Like, I don't know, it's a weird time to be alive, but it's also a great time to be alive. Yeah. If that went off the rails, did I take that way too far?
No, it's a weird time to be alive, but it's a great time to be alive. So, talking about that, though, we do get to make people's days by doing cameos or giving somebody a little oomph when they need it. Is your Streamily currently open, or have you right now? Are you signing stuff? Should we help promote that? If Tamstri would like to buy a signed autograph,
I'm not like great at promotion, but my shop isn't open at the moment, but it will be opening soon. There's a couple things coming out. I think that'll make sense for me to open it.
Oh, sweet, cool.
Yeah, next month or so at least.
Yeah, give Jeff a follow on Insta because he'll put it there, and the link is there, but that's usually where we do the Insta live streams. Streamily has been really good to me just because they're so organized and so well done, and it's been a nice thing to be able to say, hey, I'm signing this for Grant, and then Grant is there, and I'm like, oh my God, hey Grant, like it's cute,
I love that. I mean, sometimes the only challenging part is that you can really get caught up in it. Like I've spent 3-4 hours. I've been like, I should probably hang out with my daughter for a minute.
Yeah. Yes. Or bring your daughter on. No.
I did bring her on a couple times.
Oh my God. Well, Maisie Grove says, follow him. His baby is as cute as the father. So.
Thank you. She takes after her mother. That's all her mom. That's
right. You don't want your little baby daughter to look like you.
No.
I mean, you know what I mean.
You know what they say, though?
Not the beard stuff. Maybe the smile.
But what they say though is like babies come out usually looking like the dad, and it's a biological thing, so that the father feels a connection.
Whoa!
I learned so many crazy. I mean, we could spend a long time doing like crazy baby facts because I deep dived in this, like about it's hormonally done to me, like all sorts of things.
You're all mushy. You're like, I just cried, but I don't know why.
Okay, so I'll tell you really quick, and I promise I won't go nuts on it though. But like one of the things that happens to men is naturally when you have a baby, your testosterone levels drop, your estrogen levels go up, and it's so you'll form a.
The chamoy is amazing. It's like it's amazing. It's amazing. Ooh, chili. Chili. I definitely got chili right there.
Bond. With your child, because like it's more of a bonding hormone. It's wild. Nature like knows what it's doing.
Jeff, do you have any siblings? Any male siblings that are?
I do have. I actually have a younger brother who was about 18 months younger than me. He just had a baby also.
Oh, well, that's not helpful to me. Jesus. And it's not helpful to Tamp Street either. Tamp Street, what city are you in? Tell me so we can at least like commiserate. I heard the baby thing too is a comment here. Yeah, for sure. Like my sister has a baby right now. He's almost, I haven't met him, dude. He's almost a year old. It's been tough. She's in Amsterdam, but now she's in Colombia, where I was born and raised, because they met the grandparents. So my parents have gotten to meet him for the first time. And I'm supposed to travel there in a week, but Colombia is going through some really terrible protests right now. So I don't know if the airport's going to be open. So it might fuck us over yet again, but I'm crossing fingers that we can,
It's one of those things that's been tough about this whole year, really, is the ways that we've sort of missed stuff.
Yeah.
There's lots of, I totally feel there's lots of family members that have never met my daughter yet, which is like crazy to me. When were you supposed to go back?
In a week. I still have my ticket there with my other sister. We're going to travel down to Colombia, but we're just crossing fingers that everything works out on the 16th.
Was New York your first stop when you left Colombia?
No, Boston College. And then,
is that where you went?
Yeah, I studied at BC.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, close to Connecticut, right? Yeah. But I also randomly lived in Rhode Island for a year of middle school and high school. So I lived in Bristol. Yeah, my family. I was going to say my parents. My family moved up. We lived there. Yeah, my parents. We lived there for 2 years, and then I went back to Colombia, the country in Latin America, and then Boston, then New York. And now LA, so I've kind of been all over.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I have a personal question for you.
Okay.
Dun dun dun.
I'm ready.
Have you drawn any more bats since your last Streamily?
All right, one other story. So, like on Streamily, people will like ask you you'll sign and you'll do a message. And so like someone on one of the requests was, would you draw a bat? Now, in one of my characters, the Javi in The Walking Dead uses a bat a lot.
Yeah. So
I attempted to draw a baseball bat on this photograph.
Oh, it's not a bat.
Well, no, stay on the ride. Stay with me.
Oh my God.
I started to draw a bat, but on the photo I was signing, I can't remember what the photo was. I think it was of Carlos in Resident Evil. But I drew a bat like next to his head. It just looked like a dick going in his ear, and it was awful. And everybody like gave me shit for it. First of all, it was a terrible drawing. It was terribly positioned. I couldn't figure out what I even. And then I realized what they really wanted was like a bat. like a bat. And it was a fucking.
Oh my god, I love it. Renee VD is going. He's having terrible flashbacks.
It was awful. I mean, I honestly, it was hysterical. Though I couldn't stop laughing.
That's great.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great. I love it. So wait, let's get back to Captain America. So when you booked, like, what a freaking big deal! Because not only is he gorgeous, Chris, one of those guys, Evans, Pine, Hemsworth, they're all the same. Not really.
Handsome.
Yeah, holy cow. What did you, like, you audition and you're like, not gonna book it, or this could be, like, what was going through your head, and then you book it and then you go, oh my god.
Well, I was confident in what I was doing, but I didn't know it was Captain America. I mean,
oh, cool.
At this point, like, you know, I've said before, my wife called it. She was self-taping me, and I put on, like, I don't get too caught up in clothes when I'm auditioning, but I, like, based on what I was reading, I was like, yeah, it kind of feels like a white t-shirt, kind of leathery jacket kind of vibe, and, you know, and we started doing the scene. She's like, this reminds me of, and she's not like a comic book person. She's like, who's that guy in the Marvel? I'm like, Captain America? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't think so. That's fucking nuts. And so, you know, did the self-tape, then went in with casting, then did with the director a session, and got a call from my agent, and she was like, hey, and still at this point not knowing what it is, she's like, hey, something might be coming down the pike. I'm telling you, you're available if it happens. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
Is this mocap though? Because it was a self-tape?
Say it again?
Was this mocap because it was a self-tape?
This was mocap, PCAP, everything.
Oh gosh, okay, I thought it was just animated. Wow.
No. This was, motion capture, performance capture.
Holy cow, okay.
Yeah, so, then I got the call, and it was Cap, and, you know, I think you go through it, there's like a number of emotions at the time, and the first one I think was definitely, I mean, first of all, I was beside myself. I was so happy. I'm like, this is nuts. Yeah. Then it was like, and this is just my way in general, I was like, check yourself for a second. You don't know what the size of the project is. This could be one line and like a thing, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Don't get ahead of yourself. It might not be the big a deal. And then I remember driving in the car, you know, 15 minutes after the call, I'm looking at my wife and going, if it's kind of the game I hope it's going to be, wouldn't it be cool if these people were in it? And I shit you not, I named just about everybody that cast, because I was just thinking, like, who are some people that I'd like to work with? In the infinite amount of people in VO that I would be honored to fucking work with, I was like, here are some cool names. And then sure enough, my agent emailed me the cast list about 20 minutes later. And then I was like, oh, this is probably a bigger project than I thought. And then, you know, and then there's terror. Then there's like, okay, so now you got to play Cap at a time where the Avengers are horrifically popular. You know, the on-camera guy is phenomenal. Also seems like a hell of a nice guy. Does a fantastic job. So I was like, these are like a lot of shoes to fill. And I definitely think I spent that first week looking at material, doing the wrong thing of like trying to emulate a performance, and then had to just scrap everything I was doing and was like, the only way this is going to work is if I just do my own thing. It's the only way it's going to happen. So, you know, it was a journey for me, and happened at the right time. But it's such an honor.
Holy cow. So how long did you work on this?
I'm notoriously terrible with time, but I would say
a year.
I think at least 2 years.
Wow! Oh my god! And that's like, you've got to keep it so under wraps.
Oh, it was the hardest thing to not tell people. That's always the hardest part. You know, you want to share. You're excited, but you also respect. Like, you know, a ton of people put a lot of time into like keeping this thing a secret, and like, I also know I like to be surprised, and I don't want to be like that guy. So.
You don't want to be that guy. Right. And then when did that come out? I know you're not good with time, but
Yeah, I think it came out during quarantine, I believe. I think it was September in quarantine. We got pushed a couple months.
Yeah.
It was September, I think, or August.
But it's had a good reception.
You know, truthfully, it's had I think a mixed reception. I think it's starting to find its legs because it was kind of one of those games as a service, but trying to do all of their content free. So I think that part of the game has taken a second to find its legs. Yeah. But the campaign, the story of the game was very well received, and you know, I'm proud of the game. I think we did. We did a great job. I mean, our director Sean, and then Crystal Dynamics and Marvel. I mean, they're all just such dope people to work with. They're just especially the Marvel guys, they're such like passionate,
yes,
like, nerds in the best way, you know.
Well, like I think anything that's comic book or video game, like the people who work behind it are nerds, and so that's why so much love and passion goes into them, you know.
It's really, and you know, it's fun to be around people that are passionate about anything. Like that's why, like I love documentaries, because basically you're just watching a bunch of passionate people talk about the thing they love the most. So like I watch a documentary on pottery and think it's like I mean, like passion is contagious. So
yes, that's what makes people sexy.
I think, truthfully, I swear to you, I think passion and kindness are the sexiest attributes a human being can have, and then everything else is underneath that.
Yeah. Yo, I went to a Comic-Con in Las Vegas, and it was slow at one moment, and this kid comes up to get an autograph. Actually, he didn't have the money to get the autograph, but he wanted to say hi. And he told me, I said, so what do you do in Las Vegas? And he says, because everyone works in the business, like, I weld. I go, what? Yeah, I weld trailer parks, or like trailers in trailer parks. And I said, oh my God, tell me more. So like,
I want to know.
Exactly. So he's telling me all about it. And he is the sweetest, kindest, cutest kid. Not kid, he was 25 or something. So, of course, I gave him an autograph for free, and I hug him, and I say, good luck, Grant. I wish you the best of luck. And he's like, yeah. It was, he was sexy talking about welding, even though he's, you know, he's not like doing his thing, but he was just like, he was in it, right? Yo, 2 years later, I go back to Las Vegas to another Comic-Con. At the end of the day, he walks up, and I look at him, and I said, I can't remember your name, but I know you do welding. And he goes, you remember? I said, of course. We had a great conversation. And he goes, I came to tell you that I've worked my way up, and now I work for Verizon inside an office, so I get air conditioning. I just had to hug him because he was just so happy that like he moved up in the world. And of course I gave him another autograph, but like, again, he's telling me about something that he's, you know, good at or whatever. And then like what we were talking about, like living in the moment with somebody talking about whatever and remembering that. And like, but this, again, welding might not be sexy, but if you're telling me about it because it's what you're doing with a passion, holy shit, it's so sexy, you know?
And I mean, I think energetically it fills you up. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of that exchange, and there's such a great like reminder and a great lesson in that you never know like the effect you're having on somebody.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like, you know, he probably went there thinking you would make his day, right? Like this was going to be, and he kind of ended up making your day. Like you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, I say that like all the time. Like you never know the effect you're having on somebody.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And that's why we do have to be kind. We don't know what hell somebody just went through, you know.
It's also so much easier. I mean, even if you're not coming at it organically, like it's just the path of least resistance for everything you want to do.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Tam Street goes, you're having an effect on me, Jeff. Tam Street, you were getting the golden nugget today. You're making me laugh a lot.
Oh, Tam Street.
Tam Street, yeah. You know, they just have the funniest, you know, screen names, whatever.
Yeah, love it.
The other question was, you're not allowed to tell your wife and kid. Your wife had figured it out that you were Captain America anyway, so she kind of was a part of your NDA.
Well, I mean, look, anybody that says they sign an NDA and doesn't tell their like partner the same day that they sign it or while they're signing it is lying.
No, I know a friend who does not tell her partner because she is afraid that like the world will come and get her. Like it's crazy.
That's funny. I mean, I can definitely see a universe where if I was working on something that I knew she'd be really stoked about, that I would be like, you're gonna wait and see. But you know, it's hard. You come home from work and you want to like, you know, I just want to like talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so last one we haven't really talked about is Carlos Oliveira. I said we were going to talk about your film and TV career, but like, you know, time and stuff. But I'm digging the games, and you're a gamer. Have you played these games?
Yeah.
That you've been in? Oh, cool.
For the most part. Sometimes I don't get a chance to play all of them, and you know, I used to play more frequently, but it's just hard to find time now. Yeah, now you play Anara. I do. Yeah, so it's like someone. No, like it's really, she's fun. Yeah, that would be a great name for a video game. Maybe one day you'll produce it. That would probably be the name for the game. I'll be directing or producing it sometime. Yeah, I love it. So when did you book Resident Evil 3, and what was that experience? Resident Evil was pre-cap. In fact, I think I found out about Cap before I left for Japan to do Resident Evil. And
you went to Japan?
Yeah. That was dope. It was really cool for like a number of different reasons, but I've always really been interested in. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I've always been very interested in Japanese culture, and there's no better reason to go somewhere than to go for work.
Yeah.
So we went out there and shot. We did two separate shoots, each about 2 weeks in length. But it was a lot of fun. It was really cool because we were there with a French director, an English or an American cast, and an entire production team of Japanese folk. And it was so cool to navigate the language barrier, which was obviously very significant. It's not like, if you speak a little Spanish and you end up in any Latin-speaking country, I can kind of like, I do a little speaking with my wife, and I took Spanish in school, so I can kind of get by enough. I mean, there was no communication, but you find all these, like, you really start to realize there's lots of universalities in the way you can communicate.
Totally.
And you find, like, things become, what I like in a way is simplicity, and you find, like, things become very simple. You laugh at simple things, and so the whole production was a blast. What a great crew and a great bunch of people. So, and when you're on a location like that, I think it has a tendency to like bond people more. So we all really bonded. It was a lot of fun. We had a blast.
Yeah. Oh my God. And have you played it? Huh?
Have you been to Japan?
No, that's one of the countries that I really want to go to. And Booty Farts, who's in the military, is moving there in 3 months. So he's like,
whereabouts?
Tell me, Booty.
Yeah.
We'll wait for his response. Yeah, man. I want to go. I'm dying to go. It's one of the Asian countries. I've been only to Thailand and India, kind of in that part of the world.
Oh, how was Thailand? Did you like it?
I loved it. I want to go back. Yeah.
I heard it's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, Philippines. I went to the Philippines for a con. Dude, it was the most fun. We did a convention, and then we went, and the convention took us to an island for 2 days to have a little vacation. Like, it was insane. It was insane. Yeah.
Man, I missed the cons. I can't wait for them to come back.
Yeah, slowly they are. They're starting to reschedule them, starting like September. Booty says he's going to Yokosuka, just south of Tokyo.
Okay, we were in Tokyo, and I got to do. We went to Roppongi a little bit. We were like, our schedule was very tight, so we didn't get to do a lot of sightseeing. Yeah. But there's a beautiful countryside. Like, the cities are also obviously very cool. But, I really wanted to get like out, but we just didn't have the time. So it's something to go back.
Yeah. Does your wife do cons? Has she been able to accompany you?
She accompanied me to E3 and Comic-Con.
San Diego or New York?
We went to both.
Okay.
She went to San Diego with me, but then she was able to fly out for New York as well, and that was a blast.
Yeah.
She flew out for New York. Landed late at night. We went to bed, and we had to get up super early the next day. And she got up before me, and she went out. She's from New York. She's from the Upper West Side. So she went out, found a little breakfast place and brought me breakfast. Gave me fucking food poisoning. I spent, nobody knows, but my entire New York Comic Con, I remember Troy was sitting next to me as we're signing, and he looked over at me. He's like, "Dude, you don't look like you're gonna make it." And I was like, "I'm hanging on by a thin thread, buddy. I don't know if I'm gonna." So as we talked about before, I enjoy signing. I enjoy being there. I like talking. I have never wanted to run off a stage faster in my entire. I was like, "When are we gonna be done? When are we gonna be done?" And it was so I was so torn. So she felt terrible.
Oh my God! And she was trying to be sweet.
Dude, how can I be mad? She was trying to be so nice.
Dude, a con I went to in Birmingham, UK.
Yeah.
Troy was there, and I was dying with strep throat and flu at the same time. And then fans would come up to me. I had no voice, and they wanted to hear voice lines, and I couldn't because I'm just smiling and signing. So Troy has, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. He's doing something.
Yeah, right? Yo, so Jen Von Lee says, "That's some weird timing. I just got a Streamily shipping confirmation from the Bat signing."
Dude, I know Jen. Hello, Jen. She's the best. Jen's an incredibly supportive, awesome human.
Yeah, and then there's confusion. Someone thinks that your wife is part Japanese. No, Puerto Rican, Peruvian. What else?
That's not true. My wife is part Japanese.
Oh, Booty, you're right. I misheard. So Puerto Rican, Japanese, and Peruvian?
Yes.
Oh, freaking cool.
We did the ancestry. Oh, Native American was the other one. She's actually
right.
Native American. We did one of the like DNA things, which is like fascinating to do.
It is, yeah.
Because there's what you think you are, because that's what you've been told like your whole life, and you know, and then there's like what you actually turn out to be.
And what are you? You're just British royalty.
No, I'm like a little bit Italian, Irish, Ashkenazi, like, yeah, and then like some Eastern European stuff, and then my wife is like everything. But she was from the Upper West. Yes, Upper West. That's where she was. Where she grew up.
Oh man, amazing. Okay, dude. So we have like a minute, but if you want to give me 3, what are some closing remarks? Sure, cool. I don't love taking more time because an hour is a good enough chunk. He could definitely be a prince, says Tam Street. Tam Street, I'm giving you points today. Someone fucking just gift her a subscription already. Just please.
Tam's been a good boost for me today. Thanks.
Yeah, Tam, thanks.
We can all use a little lift. This is nice.
She's in Louisiana, so I hope she talks like this because it would be so much better. So, hey Jeff, if you get tired of acting, do reconsider physical therapy. I
will consider. I need a fallback, maybe.
Yeah. All right. So you do not need a fallback, dude. Yeah, closing remarks. What are you excited to have people to see coming up soon, or that one TV show that you just love, that character that you play? Like,
there's a couple things coming out. I mean, you know, it's always so hard to promote yourself because, I mean, well, like A, it's an uncomfortable space for me anyway, and then B, most of the stuff I work on, like, I'm not allowed to talk about even close.
Right.
Tell you, like, there will be something coming out that I get to participate in on Netflix soon. And then a couple games are pretty close to coming out. So there's some stuff.
Soon.
Yeah, soon. Just I mean, look, I'm not great at social media, but like I'll give everyone a heads up.
I was gonna say, like, guys, give Jeff a follow, and at least if they come out, you have to just put something up. You can't like let them fly by. Okay. The big stuff. You gotta, you know.
Yeah, I'll always give like a heads up, but it's like it's hard. Like, here's the thing: you're probably not gonna know what I had for breakfast because I probably won't photograph my food for you. But like, you know, I'll let you know what I'm working on.
Yeah, no, the tiny things I don't do those things either. But you know, you got to do the announcements. You know, Danny here, who's the Brazilian, lovely, beautiful Brazilian you met earlier. She ripped. She does that legally.
Yes.
Not the footage from Scooby-Doo that I worked on earlier this year, and so I shared it. So those little things are fun, just because.
Oh, you were on Scooby?
I got to be on Scooby, and I got the famous line at the end.
Meddling kids.
It wasn't for you meddling kids. But then she says that episode is also with Axl Rose himself. He voices.
You got to say meddling kids essentially in the presence of Axl Rose.
Well, essentially, I didn't record with the guy, but I got to tell you the line. If it wasn't for you meddling kids and singer-songwriter, musician, and rock god Axl Rose, that's the line I say. It's hysterical. Yeah, so you know, those little things you gotta share them because they're freaking fun. Do you know what I mean?
Also, like, not only you have to share, but you gotta take a second. Like, that's your life. Like, that's your life. What?
Yeah.
Living in.
It's so weird.
That's awesome. I'm so glad I know. It's like, it doesn't matter what else you do at this point. Like, you got to stay meddling kids and be with Axl Rose. Even if you guys worked adjacently on a project and never met, it's still cool.
Yeah. No, there's definitely moments where I go, what? Or even when at cons, when I get to meet Chris Hemsworth or what's his name, Ant-Man. Oh my God, Paul Rudd. What? You know, you just go, hi, like, you're incredible. Thank you for this moment. You know, I love you. Yeah, like Tam Street loves you. This has been so good. Jeff, it has. Oh wait, what's a great TV show that people can catch you on? Because you've done some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I did some work on Masters of Sex and SEAL Team.
Oh, I love that show. Masters of Sex is so good.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
it's so good.
A great show. A great show. A great everything. The casting director is a woman named Risa Brayman Garcia. She's phenomenal. Yeah. She's cast some incredible stuff, and then that show was great. I think it's done though. I mean, I think it ran its course.
Yeah. But oh my God. Sorry, continue.
You know what I like to do? Can I promote somebody else's stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anybody on it, so it's just what I'm watching now.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you watching Invincible on Amazon?
Oh, I watched the first 2 episodes. Incredible. Yeah. Yeah, I have a bunch of friends on there.
And if you haven't, you should watch Letterkenny on Hulu.
Okay.
I'm just promoting other people's stuff. I have no association with any of these things, but Letterkenny is this Canadian show, and it's hysterical. Hysterical.
Yeah.
To check that out, I would.
Amazing. Yeah, that one. I just finished Defending Jacob with your counterpart. Yeah, Chris. He's incredible in that. That show's great. Yeah.
I think you watched the hell out of that.
So many good things. Have you watched Big Mouth?
I'm obsessed with Big Mouth. How about if Big Mouth ever needs me to do something for them, that would be a bucket list job.
I want to voice a vagina, okay? That's all I want to do, please.
I love Big Mouth. Big Mouth is phenomenal. There's another animated show. I started watching Solar Opposites.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Main creators of Rick and Morty.
Okay, cool.
Laugh out loud. Love that show.
Yeah. Oh, last question. Wait, have you played Overwatch?
A lot.
Oh, shut the front door. Why didn't you tell me, dude? Who's your main?
You mean, huh?
Who's your main?
Bangalore. Sorry, but actually it's so funny because I remember playing that game.
Wait, who's Bangalore? Are you talking about the map?
No, Bangalore is, isn't that the character's name?
No. An Indian character?
No, wait.
Apex!
I did play Overwatch, and my main in Overwatch was, not the monkey.
Not Winston.
No, not Winston.
Reinhardt.
No, I wasn't a Reinhardt guy. He's the big knight.
Yeah.
No, I was not a Reinhardt guy. I mained, who did I main?
Huh?
No, I'm going to put the character list because I'm going to tell you right now what I mean because this is actually...
You're hysterical. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me here.
I got you.
No, it's all good. I was like, Bangalore, what? Okay, well, Apex, guys. He plays Apex. That's a good thing. Describe the character. What does he look like? Or she? She a big, ripped Russian lady? Is it a...
Oh, no. I played... who was like the soldier? The
Soldier 76.
Soldier 76. Yeah. He was my main.
Have you ever worked with Fred... Have you worked with Fred Tatashore?
We've been on adjacent projects.
Oh, okay.
So technically, yes, but I've never got to share the booth with him. But
he's the voice of that one.
I've heard. I mean, obviously, I know all of his work. I've heard nothing but nice things about him as a human being.
Yeah.
So I'm confident that at some point our paths will cross. I'm sure he'll be doing something amazing, and I'll be tree number 5. But that's cool with me.
Dude, I've been tree number 5 when he's playing the chupacabras right next to me for Nickelodeon.
I will have to play shrubbery to his chupacabra.
Yeah. I'm always like, I will be dancing moss in the corner. Thank you very much. Just to watch these people, play. It's incredible. Dude, we do.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say we do have a fabulous job where we get to watch incredible people we admire work in the booth and then do a little thing next to them,
And sometimes get to be with them. Yeah, it's like I said, I don't really work. I just get to play.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff, this has been more than lovely. I'm so grateful to Nashir for introducing us, and I hope that when you make it back, we can hang
Hell yeah.
Vaccinations and all in place. And, I'm going to go to Atlanta in September, so if you're still there,
we'll be here.
I'm going to hit Dragon Con, so
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well,
and right after a Florida con, so I think I'm just gonna like extend and stay in the South for a little bit. And,
it's a lot. I mean, honestly, I like Atlanta more than I thought I would. It's cool out here.
Yeah.
Interesting. Like it seems like a fun place. We haven't gotten to see as much as I'd like, based on the fact that we've just been quarantining so hard. Saturday rules make it tough. You really can't mess around. So
I know. Yeah,
we're a little bit locked in. But let us know when you're here. And
maybe by then things are a little bit more opened, and I don't, all that stuff.
And also, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
a pleasure. Like super fun.
Lovely. Congrats on your incredible career, your wife, your baby. Big fans of it all. And hopefully we'll cross paths soon. Guys, give it up for Jeff. Guys, keep booming and booping. Boop.